Now I'm gonna show you how you can actually plan your dream wedding within your budget, right? My wedding dresses, I know that a lot of people thought they were actually expensive. I bought them in China Mall. I know my husband is not gonna like this one, but that's what I did. God is able to make something that looks like 10 rands and make it look like 30,000. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Millicent Mosuo and I just love you guys so much. Thank you so much for engaging my content, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. I appreciate you so much. So in the previous video, I spoke about how to prepare for your marriage, or how I have prepared for my marriage, right? Actually, I shared my journey. So today I want to talk about how to prepare for your wedding. So I also put pointers because I realized that, guys, if I don't put pointers, I will go on and on and on because I just enjoy speaking too much. Kyabulela, guys. Kyabua. Anyway, so I got married to my husband in 2021. We had our lobola. If you followed our lobola video, we uploaded it here. We had it in Feb, on the 13th of Feb. And then in April, his family sent a letter to ask for a wedding date. Actually, I think, no. They asked for, their first letter was to, ask for lobola, a hand in marriage. The second one was to inform us that they would like to have a wedding on the 31st of July, in July. And that was in April. So we had May and June to plan the wedding. And this was during lockdown. Like, President was going to give another feedback, I think after 14 days. Guys, was it 14 days or 21 days? I don't remember. And we were praying, hoping, in June, President must just, open the country. He closed it again to say no events. We were praying as a family, and we were believing God that our wedding will happen because we really needed to have a wedding. And then come the second family meeting. In South Africa, we used to call it family meeting whenever they say President Ramaphosa is going to address us. So in that family meeting, he actually opened. It was a Sunday. The wedding was going to happen the following week on a Saturday. So on that Sunday, he said he's opening for 50 people. So at least we're like, okay, we can stream the wedding. And then we can only have like close family members. And also, not all of them. So we had to manage it like this to say each relative will have 2 representatives coming to the wedding. That's literally how we worked it out. So we had 4 days, guys, to make this wedding happen. And I think we had the best wedding. We got everything that we wanted and more. Not because we could, but really because of the grace of God, And I remember my bridesmaids' dresses were not made. And we had 4 days. They came on a Wednesday. There was a lady in Midrand who was making their dresses. We didn't sleep on that Wednesday. They came to Joburg. I made sure that my bridesmaids were my actually siblings, so it was easy to manage. And my elder sister, Ngwana Mogolo waka. So she was my maid of honor. We grew up together. Like, it was only fitting that she be my maid of honor, honestly. We were raised like best friends. So they came on a Wednesday, they got their dresses done, and then the Muruki had to finish like throughout the night. And then on Thursday, they had to go back home. And then I had to take them for cleaning and ironing on Friday and drive. Imagine a bride driving and the stress of just like planning the whole thing, like the pressure, wanting to have everything working together, collecting my own dresses, guys. And we still had like a little bit of restrictions there and there, but we pulled it through. We eventually got married. So now I'm gonna show you how you can actually plan your dream wedding within your budget, right? Start by knowing how many people you want to have, at your wedding. I know that sometimes in as Africans or in our community, it's very hard to decide, or you know what, I just want 50 people or I just want 100 people, So, but you have to. In this economy, you don't have a choice. You have to. Whoever comes uninvited, they must know who they are not gonna have a chair. Unfortunately. But guys, you need to work on a number. Like, even if you estimate, it does not matter, because every service provider is gonna ask you for the number. If you speak to a decor lady, they're gonna ask you for how many people. If you speak to a caterer, they're gonna ask you for how many people. We have a sound company, we do a sound business. I always hear my husband, when people book him for their events, the first question before he sends a quotation, he will ask, how many people are you expecting? What time does it start? When does it end? So that he can know, okay, how many speakers or monitors or whatever, cables, whatever, he's supposed to prepare, and then he will know how much that will cost the client. So really, a number determines everything. But before the number, honestly, also know how much you're willing to spend, so that you cannot just say 500 people if your budget doesn't allow you to actually host 500 people for your wedding. So that is the first thing, right? So here is a template that I put together when I was planning for my wedding. I may not have put all the items that you need here, but this is like the basic ones that can, make the wedding happen. Maybe some of you in your culture, you have things like slaughtering cows and stuff like that. We didn't have that, so you can add it here. So just to take you through the template, you would have, like I said, estimated the number that you're working with, right? And then you're gonna go into deco, catering, groceries, drinks, groom suit, bride dresses, wedding dresses, bride shoes, groom shoes, cake, and then the rings as well. Decide on what your budget is for each and every single item: sound, DJ, videographer, photography, bridesmaid dresses, groomsmaid, MC, the wedding stationery, like your program, table description boards, and table numbers. And then entertainment, if you want to have like artists coming to perform, your makeup, and then basically just everything. And then have three different prices. So you're gonna have a price from vendor 1, price from vendor 2, and a price from vendor 3. But then you can also add probably a column here to say you can probably have your budget first. So just specify what your budget is for each and every single item, right? And then when you getting all the quotations, you're gonna compare what you can afford against what you're being charged for, and also communicate what your budget is. So then here you're gonna put like what is the final amount that you guys are going for, and then you can always update your sheet or how much you paid. If you paid 50% for, let's say, deco, write it down here that okay, so far we paid 50%. Then on the second sheet, I have a to-do list. I'm such a planner. So this will help you because you put a date. Like, for example, you write, okay, on let's say maybe you say by end of June, by end of what, I must have paid all these people their deposits and how much were they, and then what is the status. And then from there on your to-do list, maybe write these things because, the stress of planning your wedding, you might forget.
Like, for example, collect a bride's outfit. When are you going to collect them? And then on that day, you come and update, maybe to say collected or not collected. And then you put a new date or an update or a comment why. And then, yeah, the cake, when are you going to collect it? And then if you need to delegate, you know that you can delegate, because first of all, you have a plan. You agreed with your vendors or when you will do what and at what time, so that you don't forget anything. The step practices, traveling arrangements, marriage certificate and signing, you put them together in your planner or in your to-do list. The bridal emergency kit with tissues because you're gonna cry, lipstick, band-aids, a sewing kit in case something happen, just so you can like get to fix things quickly. And then picking up of family members, etc., and then getting a manicure and a pedicure, hair installation. This is the day before the wedding. So yeah, this is how the planner looks like.
As for us, we knew how much we had and how much we can actually raise within the 2 months. So like for decor, we just told the decor lady, this is how much we have. And then she was like, okay, I'll work with what you have. So sometimes if you found someone who's passionate about their work, that's what I would look at. Like when I call service providers, I can sense when someone is doing things for money, and I can sense when someone is really passionate about the work they do. So establish that friendship nyana, have a relationship with them. That's what we did. We told the lady, this is how much we have, and she was like, it's fine. And I felt like we had established that sisterhood relationship. Like we would talk even during COVID. Hey sis, I'm feeling nervous. Are we really gonna have the wedding? What's going on? The sound person as well, we said to him, this is the budget we have. And then he knows how he's going to work it out. If that will only allow him to bring 2 vocals, that's it. That's fine. We're only gonna have 2 vocalists singing for us. If that's only gonna bring a DJ as opposed to like live band, that's fine. What matters, there's going to be music, and that's what you afford, guys. Really, you must be willing to take what you can afford, right? The biggest lesson that I have learned is to delegate. It wasn't easy for me to delegate. I think also the fact that we were under pressure, and I really wanted things to happen the way I would have loved my wedding to be like, because the thing is, the wedding only comes once. It's not like a birthday celebration where you can say, oh, I can always get it right the next time or when I turn 18 or 25. So it only comes once. But then that really put a strain on me because I was making mistakes, being involved in accidents, bumping into cars. It was just a mess. And the other thing, I even lost my voice because I was that person making phone calls, directing, doing this. And also, we only had 4 days, guys. You can imagine the amount of phone calls that I had to make. So I ended up losing my voice. And I said my voice got bass. Like I was like, I will always love you. I had no voice. But shout out to Lelo, my makeup artist. She's so good. You know what? I'm not going to cope. After doing my makeup, she was like, let me go down there and make sure that I direct the matrimonial so that people can, start to walk down the aisle. Also, make sure DJ is playing the right music for the right people. Not who you are playing a music work groom for bridesmaids. No. So she had to make sure of that. But guys, honestly, if I were to plan my wedding again, I'll do everything the way I did it. And except for running things the way I did. I think sticking to budget is what stood out for me. But one lesson that I learned, something that I would undo, is trying to do things myself because I was so exhausted. Even on our wedding night, I was so exhausted. Like, I just wanted to sleep. I didn't even want to do anything. I wanted to sleep. It was just so bad. So I really encourage that you accept help, right? Yeah, and then the dons, don't get into debts. Don't plan your wedding on dates. Don't start your life on dates, guys. Even when, like, after we got married, we didn't rush into like buying properties and everything, because you don't want to start your marriage on such things. At least you want to live together for a couple of months or a year, maybe, just to get to know each other. But also depending on how you guys started. Some people, maybe they were staying together even before that. It makes sense. But I'm talking about if like you are only going to get to know each other or live together for the first time after you said I do. I wouldn't recommend that you start on dates. And also, after you had a wedding, you're gonna realize that a loan is not worth it. You can actually wait if you think you don't have money to have a wedding. Because especially on deco, I was telling my friend Kiri, the thing about deco, even if you spend so much money on deco, it's beautiful for those few minutes. Once people sit down, it's over. You can't even see it anymore, because they're gonna remove those things. They're gonna remove the glasses. It's just gonna be a mess. Even after eating, waste. So it's beautiful on pictures, but it's not gonna stay like that throughout the wedding. I would say stick to your budget. If you afford 100,000, go for it. If that's what you desire and that's what you want for your. If you only afford 30,000, communicate to your decorator. What this is what I have, and there are good decorators who will actually work with what you have. And it doesn't mean they're just gonna bring like they're not gonna put effort. They will, but with the quality of furniture that you afford, which is brilliant, because decor will still be there. It will still look nice. It's just that instead of hiring a chair that cost 5,000, you're actually using chairs that cost 1,000. And that's within your budget, and you should be happy and content with that. And then don't reject help, but set boundaries. For example, the way I wanted my wedding to be at a venue. I wanted to have a wedding at the venue. My husband also wanted the venue. Actually, that's all he knows. Because where he comes from, they host weddings at venues, not necessarily at their homes. So I come from a village, and the expectations from family, even my dad's family, was that I will have my wedding at home, and I didn't want to. I wanted to do what we wanted. And if your parents are happy, I feel like everyone else must just automatically be happy. My mother was happy with it. I spoke to her and I explained why. And also the fact that we were having our wedding during COVID. You saw, guys, people were dying. There was no way we were going to risk having a wedding in a venue that is where the access is not controlled. Because if you have it at home, if you come from a village, the whole street is coming, the whole village is coming, even neighboring villages are coming, like everyone will come. And then the next thing, you lose your parents, you lose your loved ones, because so we had ours at the venue, not necessarily because of COVID, but because we wanted that. And also the COVID thing, it just made sense, but it wasn't like the main reason. So when my aunt came to say, hey, I think we should change things, how about you wake up at home, do things, blah 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 blah, I rejected it with respect and nicely. I just said, I didn't know it's important. We already planned, because today is Friday, the day before the wedding. I went home the day before the wedding, and I was like, and I didn't get time to hire cars. What are we gonna do? We don't have a choice. We just have to do it there. But I knew, like, even 2 months before, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to find a venue where we don't have to hire cars that take us to go take pictures, and everything was done there. We had our photo shoot right at the venue. Our caterer was given a kitchen for her to cook for us right at the venue. All my bridesmaids and groommaids, hubby's groommates, they slept at the venue. We all slept at the venue. We did our behind the scenes shoot at the venue, matrimonial at the same venue. Olga Events brought her tent right at the venue, and we had our reception right at the venue. Why? We needed to cut too many things, you know. And when things are done in one venue, I feel like there's order, because you're not gonna forget anything. Everything is done there, guys. And as for my wedding dresses, I know that a lot of people thought they were actually expensive. I bought them in China Mall. I know my husband is not gonna like this one, but that's what I did. You know, God is able to make something that looks like 10 rands and make it look like 30,000. But really, guys, I am like that generally. Like, I wouldn't spend on a 5 minutes thing or 10 minutes thing. Like, but if you prefer the expensive one, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that if you are like me, please know that it is okay and it's possible to look beautiful on your wedding without killing yourself financially. Right? And then, most importantly, establish a foundation of prayer. Pray together as you plan for your wedding. This one, I think it is my biggest testimony. Habi and I decided I remember we set a day, it was every Monday, that we are going to pray towards our wedding. I think we started before the lobola and we never stopped. We were staying in two different apartments. He had his own apartment, I had my own apartment. So on Mondays after work, we would meet in one of our apartments and pray. Like, throughout the day, we would pray and would prepare for that prayer, read the word. Like, we were understanding that what we are about to start is actually not small. So planning our wedding was a smooth process, guys. The thing is, sometimes when you say testimonies like this, people think you are breaking, or they think if maybe they had fights and at some point, like maybe someone's journey will have details like, at some point I thought he wasn't going to show up because I noticed that when you're about to get married, the devil will do that. It is expected. I respect that, and I know that our journeys are different. But one thing I know is that you can believe God for a different journey. And for us, we never even fought. And I think it is because of those prayers. We spoke in our previous video about how having a prayer life can actually help you even in marriage. For us, we started before even lobola. The minute he told me he would like to marry me, because he started by writing a letter that I needed to, go give to my mom. From that day, I knew we needed to actually start praying together. So I highly recommend set apart day and take it seriously and begin to pray together and allow God to lead both of you, to speak to you, to prune your ears, to be attentive to his voice, because that is where you're going to practice how to work with the Holy Spirit. When you get into marriage, it's easy because you guys have already started it. In our home, we have a family prayer time that we show up for. Even if you go out, you know that I need to be home at this time, so that I can make it for our family prayer time. And man, testimonies that come out of that prayer meeting, they are so amazing. Even our helper would give us testimonies to say, ever since I joined this family, ever since we started praying, this and this and this is happening to my life. I see change, I see transformation. They are working. There is power in praying together. Even when you don't feel like it, please do show up for that prayer meeting. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you guys. All you need to do, honestly, is to make sure that, number one, you know your budget, you know how much you are willing to spend, or you know how much you really afford to spend for your wedding. And then from there, know the number, how many people you want to host at your wedding, and then everything else just flows. And if you're getting married and you're watching this video, man, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Or if maybe you're already married but you never had a wedding and you're planning to have a wedding, I wish you all the best. And don't hesitate to reach out if you want this template or this planner. I will definitely send it to you. I'll email it to you. I am such a planner and I like it when I see organized people. So I would love to see your organized wedding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers.